Okay, so here I'm going to go over the answers to all of the Part 2 assessment review, so the portion that's with transformations. So I'm going to start with this number 15 here, and if you don't want to go through all of the work, then you can just look at the pictures that I also posted. So this says 270 degrees clockwise, so I'm going to turn this 90, 180, sorry about that, and 270. And I could have just gone 90 degrees counterclockwise, which I probably should have, because that would have made it a lot easier. So here it is over in this quadrant, which is 270 degrees clockwise. So if I were just to have done 90 counter, that probably would have been smarter. It's going to be right here. So it's going to be at 6, -2, at 2, -8, at, oh, sorry, that was 8, -2, that first one, 8, -2, 6, -10, and this one's kind of at 3, -4. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and I'm going to graph those 4 points. So 2, -8, 8, -2, 6, -10, and kind of 3, -4 here. And I'm just going to put that figure. So here's the figure. And then I'll just kind of leave it like that. Oops. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, and there is the image of that. Okay? All right, so this one says 180 degrees counterclockwise. And I'm not going to worry too much about labeling everything, but 180 degrees doesn't really matter whether it went counterclockwise or clockwise, so it could have just said 180. So I'm going to go 90, 180, and I like to say what they are, so that what the points are, so 4, -1, 4, -5, and -2, -1, and then I'm going to flip it back up here. So it was 4, -1, 4, -5, and -2, -1. And here's my, you probably hear the geese in the background here. That's not a big deal. I can just leave it. No, I can leave it. It's not a big deal. All right, so there's the new figure. Okay, so this one is just going to be, this next one is just going to be a reflection across the x-axis. So if I were to just reflect, I'm just going to count how many points down. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4 that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 this way. So W prime. This one will be one more down, so M prime. This one will be all the way down here, D prime. And A was 3 up, so it'll be 1, 2, 3 down. So here's A prime. And I'll just draw that. And I just reflected it over the x-axis. They're a little bit of entertainment because the geese are pretty loud tonight. It's kind of funny. So here, we can leave it open. It's not a big deal. Like that. Okay, that's how that one looks. Oops. There you go. That's how that one looks. All right, so this one's reflected across y equals -1. So remember that when y equals -1, you're looking at, so you're looking at everything. So remember the x-axis is y equals 0. So you're looking at everything going across this line here. That's y equals -1, everything there. I do like to draw that line so I can see where everything's going to go. And then I'll draw my actual things. So this will be L prime. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's W prime. 1, 2, 3. So I'll go 1, 2, 3 down for what looks like I prime. And this one's 2. So it's B prime is going to be here. And so my new figure is right here. Okay. So that one kind of looks like this. Okay, so there's that new figure. Okay, so this next one, I'm going to translate this image, and it says x plus 3, y minus 4. So I'm just going to move over. X goes up 1, 2, 3, and then y goes down 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be my d prime. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's all my prime values. And then I'm going to, whoops, sorry. I'm going to just, at that point, I'm just going to do the, use my ruler and do that piece. And there you go. So that's the new image. Okay, and so it looks like that. All right, this one gets dilated times 2, so I like to give my start values. Okay, I like to use my start values. Okay, we're going to get rid of the geese now because it's been a bit much. Okay, so here's my originals. My A was at 1, 4. So if I'm dilating it, I'm going to multiply those both by 2. So it's going to be 2, 8 would be my A prime. B was at 1, 0, so 2, 0 would be B prime. And C was at 4, 0, whoops, so 8, 0 would be my C prime. Okay, so A is going to be at 2, 8, or A prime, excuse me, so it's A prime. And then 8, 0 is going to be C prime. And 2, 0 is going to be B prime. Okay, so then here's my new figure. And so it should be larger, should be a similar figure, but not a congruent figure. This one will just be similar, whereas all of the other congruence transformations are both similar and congruent. So that looks like that. Okay? All right. Now the next page is asking you to just tell what the transformation was. So this one here, remember just to look at the original is the one without the prime values. So this one is going to be it looks like it's going to be a translation. So I'm going to have my original XY value go to, and you could say this differently. So I'm going to write it this way, but you could say like down this many and left like that. So I'm going to go, okay, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down and left 1. So it was X minus 1 because that's that one, and Y minus 7 because it looks like it went. I'm just going to get 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 down. Yep. So there you go. Okay. This one is clearly a rotation. So I'm going to kind of just look at what I think it is. So from here to here, it flipped 180 degrees. So I'm going to just say 180 degree rotation. Okay. You could have said translation here, but I'm not going to be looking for, do you know what the name of the thing is? All right. This one here, I can see from the R to the R prime, it has gone over the x-axis. So this is a reflection over the x-axis. So this is reflection over x-axis, or you could have said over y equals 0. That's fine as well. Okay. This one here looks to me like this is going to be a rotation because it's turned. Oh, no, you know what? This one's, I won't give you one like this. This one's a reflection over the y equals x line. And I won't give you one like that, but that one is, it didn't rotate, it reflected over that line. So it flipped the thing over that line there, over the y equals x line. But I won't give you one like that. All right, so this one that looks kind of like Pac-Man is flipped over this line here. So you can kind of see, and I'll draw it here, that it flips over that line in the middle there. Now it looks like Pac-Man eating things. So as it flipped over that line is y equals -2. So it's a reflection over y equals -2. Okay? All right, and last but not least, this one here looks like it's going to be a translation because it's going to move over and up. So maybe this time I'll say translation, and I'll just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like left 5, okay, and up 2. So it would have been okay for you to say that, or you could have just said xy, and then x minus 5, y plus 2. Those are both fine. Okay. All right. So last 2 pages, which have some more graphing things on them, and there are some where there could be more than one answer in some cases. Okay, so first I'm going to graph this rectangle, and I'm going to kind of make it in this color. So it's going to be A is -4, -3. So here's my original A, and B is -4, -2. So here's my original B. C is -1, -2. So C, and then -1, -3. So here's my original figure. I'm going to just go ahead and, because this one seems to be not too hard to freehand. All right, so there's my original figure. Okay, and then I'm going to change colors for my new figures here. So I'm going to draw its translation 5 units to the right and 3 units up. Okay, so move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. So here's C prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. I don't necessarily have to do all this. If I have those correct, I can assume the rest of the figure will stay the same. Oh, I never did actually label that one. All right, so there's D prime. Makes me feel better if I have that on there. All right, so there's the new figure, the prime figure, so it would look right here. And then I'm going to do one more because it's going to turn. So this says rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So I'm going to go, counterclockwise. So I'm going to go this way. Okay, so 90 degrees counterclockwise would be taking that and moving it like that. So it looks like my figure should be at 0, 1, at 1, or is it -1, 1, at -1, 4, and at 0, 4. Okay, so my final figure here will be 0, 4, 0, 1, and those were A prime and D prime, and then -1, 4, that one would have been, C, these are double prime, sorry. And then right here would be B double prime. So here was my final figure over there. Okay? And so that's just how I would do that. And I would have all 3 of those figures. And those were actually congruence transformations. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do another one here where I have coordinates. And it says I have triangle has coordinates -2, -2, 4, -2, and 1, 1. So I'm going to start with those with the first figure. So -2, -2, which was A, 4, -2, which is B, and 1, 1, which is C. All right, so here's my original figure. Here, I'm going to move it off to go ahead and do the graph, or actually just connect the lines. A little tricky from where I was. Okay, so here's the first figure here. That's ABC. Okay. And I think it's kind of helpful. Here, I'm actually going to fold this over so you can see it. Okay, so I think it's kind of helpful to then, now I'm going to dilate that with, it says scale factor of 2. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. And I'm just going to go ahead and, okay, so that's going to be my green line here. going to be a scale factor of 2. So I took that negative 2, negative 2, so A prime would be negative 4, negative 4. B prime, I'm going to multiply this by 2, will be 8, negative 4. And C prime will be 2, 2. Okay? So I'm going to have over 2 up 2, that'll be C prime. Negative 4, negative 4, which will be A prime. And B prime would be 8, negative 4. So B prime. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, and then this one, now this one's going to kind of go on top of itself here, so you'll see that, and it's not going to be a big deal, but it's kind of going to go on top of itself. So here's this bigger triangle. Okay. Okay, so there's that big triangle. And then it says to reflect that figure over the x-axis. So I'm going to flip this figure over the x-axis. So C was 2 up. So C double prime will be right here. This was 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So B double prime. And then A was also 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So A double prime. And I'm just, again, going to connect that one. So kind of all of this is just doing a bunch of different translations, or I'm sorry, transformations, not translations. This one is not all congruence transformations. The one was a dilation. So there's that one. Okay, and then, so I've done this one here over the x-axis. So that was the double prime one. And then it says, this just says, give the coordinates of A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. Don't worry about that right now. And then I'm going to rotate that image 90 degrees, and it says 90 degrees clockwise. So let's find a color that'll look nice with all of these. I don't know, things like, I don't know, maybe a pink. So the last one is rotating this image 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so I'm going to turn, remember I'm going from the blue. So I'm going 90 degrees this time clockwise. So it looks like it'll be negative 2, negative 2. So C triple prime would be negative 2, negative 2. A triple prime would be at 4, 4. 4, 4. And B triple prime would be at 4, negative 8. Okay. So I'm going to go back and put that in. So negative 2, negative 2. So here's A triple prime, or sorry, C triple prime. And then 4, 4 over 4 up 4 for A triple prime. So here's A. And then 4, negative 8 for that one. So for B triple prime. And then you'll just graph that. And so the final image will look like this. Okay, and it should be congruent to all but the first one. So there you go. There's the final image. Okay. So it kind of goes, it got turned clockwise that way. All right, so there's the final image, and there's the whole thing. All right, last two, and then we're done, and I'll take a picture of it so you don't have to go over all of these as well. Meg? All right, so here, what transformations were done to the original image. Now, it's not entirely clear what the original image is, but it should be. But so the first image is this one, because it doesn't have the primes in it. So it looks like two things have been done to it. So first, it's been, now notice that these are similar figures only because they're not the same size. Same shape, but not same size. So I'm going to answer that first. Okay. But now, so it looks like it's been, and it may or may not matter what order you do it in, but in this particular case, I don't think that it will matter what order you do it in, necessarily. Well, actually, it might matter as far as like where you, what thing you flip it over. Actually, it might be easier to do it. Okay, so first of all, if I flip this over here, it's going to, and then multiply it, it's actually going to dilate it second. So I'm going to want to dilate it second. So the first thing I'm going to do is reflect it over the y-axis. Okay, and that's going to put this over here and over here, and this would be over at the -5 over here. And then I'm going to dilate it times 2. So if I'd done it the other way, if I'd made it bigger at first, actually that would have worked as well, because then it would have moved this at 2, and it would have, so either way, so this flipped the other way will actually work fine on that particular one as well. So either way, in order would work. Okay, so this one also, and this one isn't clear which one it goes from, so we're going to say it goes from here to here. And so let's look at what this one does. So the first thing is if I move it over here and then I flip it over, and this one has more than one option as an answer, so I might do this and you might do something different. So I'm going to move it over and down. So I'm going to say my first step is x, y goes to, so I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, actually here I want this piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, over 9 and down 1. So I'm going to do x minus 9 and y minus 1. Okay, now you could have done something different and so it would work. And then I'm going to reflect over, in this case, so I would have had it right here. Like, so this point would go right over here. So mine is going to have to reflect over this line here over y equals -1. Okay? All right. That's the end of that. And I will also have this available just to be looked at rather than having to watch the whole video. Have a good night.
That was close.
What?
Oh,
Oh, it was Bruno. It wasn't Maggie even. It was just Bruno being Bruno. Were you getting upset with a kitty? It was like, I was trying to beg from
it's still
Stevie.
recording.